Welcome back to the podcast. I'm super pumped because we started the spring shred that will end June 5th. My clients are in and already having more energy. This is the first thing that they notice. I'm deep into my personal 88-day cut that ends with a photo shoot and a vacation. I'm feeling much leaner and I cannot wait to share my results and my tips and my hacks. I love using all of my Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse recipes. I'm feeling strong and I'm feeling more confident when I try on my bikinis. So I'm super pumped about that. It's all about the way that you feel. So, new podcast episode drops every Monday. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss one. If you're interested in the Clubhouse wait list link will be in the show notes. I only open it to the public once a year for $39. It's the most bang for your buck. There's clickable recipes, exercise, accountability, private check-ins, and consistency. In the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse, in the recipes this week for our meal plan, we made a creamy Swiss chicken bake. And let me tell you, it's so delicious, so simple. It takes just a couple of minutes and it's packed with protein. Clubhouse members get exclusive access to these recipes inside of the app, so you never have to scroll through social media wondering where you save them. I am featured in the app that I use, the tracking app that I use, My Macros Plus. Search for me under by brand, Kelly Counts Macros to find all my recipes. So if you see something on my Instagram that looks yummy, you can track it easily inside of the app. Clubhouse members, of course, have the added bonus of getting my full recipe book inside the membership for easy access. Quick favor, would you mind leaving me a review? I read every single one and they help me reach more people. If you haven't yet, please leave a review and hit that follow button. New episodes drop every Monday. Let's change the next generation by ditching the dieting mentality. I will share a review with you because it's simple, and simple is my middle name. Sharon Farmer says, amazing, short and to the point. I love listening to these podcast episodes. I have lost inches to reveal muscle definition after years of feeling stuck. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Sharon Farmer. Thank you for the review. You are helping me help more people. Today, I want to talk about something that I know many of you are struggling with, perhaps this time of year, whether it's Monday morning or especially after vacation. That's what we're going to address. The bloat, the increase on the scale, the puffiness. So let's talk about getting back into the routine after a bad weekend or a vacation. So let me give you an example of me going on vacation before I started counting macros. When I would go on vacation, I would eat like a jerk, starting in the morning, eating things that I don't even really like. So perhaps that was donuts. I don't really care for donuts. Cinnamon rolls, while they're yummy, definitely not my favorite. So I would start the day off just eating like a jerk, eating all of the things. Then, of course, by lunchtime, I would think, oh, I'm hungry again because I didn't have any protein. And then at lunch, I would get a burger and fries. I would try whatever my husband got for lunch. Perhaps we would have a drink. Definitely on vacation, I've always been one to keep my body moving. So I did keep my workouts and my steps up, but my eating was completely out of control. Well, then after lunch, it's bring on the drinks, right? You're by the pool. And if we didn't have an excursion or something planned that day, I would try all of the drinks, perhaps, the fruity drink that looked great that the bartender was making, and continue that until dinner. Then we would go back. If we didn't, this is pre-kids, of course. Our vacations look much different after kids. Then take a nap and then head to dinner, and that would lead to more bad choices, right, at dinner and just overeating and over drinking. And then perhaps end the night with ice cream or some brownies or a dessert on the way back to the room. So completely eating like a jerk. And obviously, I did not feel well eating all of that. So coming home, the scale was up. You feel puffy. Maybe you don't want to get back to the gym like you normally do because you're just spiraling after vacation. You're puffy, you're bloated, you're tight, you feel yucky. Let's talk about what's going on when that happens and things that you can do to bounce back very quickly. Obviously, I explained what I used to do, and I no longer do that when I'm on vacation. But let me talk about what's going on. So first and foremost, I want you to understand if the scale is up, that the majority of that is due to inflammation, sodium, undigested food in your gut, and water retention, also glycogen. So, right, you're eating more food in general, more sodium, more carbs. And I want to explain a little bit about carbohydrate and how it retains water, okay? Glycogen and water. So when you eat carbohydrates, your body stores excess glucose as glycogen. So primarily in the liver and then in the muscles. So this glycogen storage process is accompanied by what? Water retention, okay? So the body typically stores 3 to 4 grams of water for every gram of glycogen. So that's what we call water weight, right? This water retention is temporary. It's a temporary increase on the scale, and we call that water weight. So perhaps you're drinking alcohol, and even if you're somewhere where there's a lot of heat, you may swell like crazy. Even if I eat healthy on vacation, but I'm in a very warm and humid environment, like last time we were in Mexico, a small island off of the coast of Mexico, I was just, very swollen. I could even feel it in my sneakers. Sometimes you can feel it in your hands, the way that your rings fit. But this is no reason to panic and feel like you have to fast and not eat when you come home. You do not need to do a cleanse. You do not need to do extra cardio, okay? I know it feels like an emergency, but it's really not. So these are the things that we should do. Number one, let's address the swollen mess and the puffiness, right? So immediate relief will be increase your water intake, increase it. Okay. Even if you're already drinking half your body weight in ounces, increase it some more. Now, I know that that sounds counterintuitive, but it's going to help flush out all the excess. So it will reduce the puffiness and that swollen feeling. Number two, eat mostly whole foods, lean protein, berries, vegetables, potatoes, oats, things like that. Don't eat out. You've eaten out enough. Let's stop going to the restaurants for a while, okay? You want to control the sodium to reduce the water retention and feel better quicker. We digest the whole foods much easier and much faster. So prepare your foods at home. You will feel better eating whole foods. You're able to control your calories and your nutrients and reduce that sodium. So I'm not trying to demonize salt, okay? But if you're trying to reduce bloating and being swollen after vacation, eating out, the sodium content is always so much higher. Load up on anti-inflammatory foods, leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula. Have your big as salad, okay? Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, all the berries, great, great foods. Salmon, tuna, things that are high in omega 3s, perhaps chia seeds, flaxseed, turmeric, ginger, okay? Even green tea and garlic. These will all help with that inflammation. Get back to moving your body, right? And you don't have to sweat the whole time. I don't want you to have an unhealthy relationship with exercise. So let me tell you a story about sweating. So back basically every Monday, and after every vacation, when I was feeling super yucky, I would go back to my trainer and I was feeling puffy and gross, and I would be like, you need to get me sweating. As I say this, I think I used to tell him about my workouts, and I didn't feel like it was a good workout unless I was sweating. And this was so far off. His name was Ben. He was my trainer. He probably thought I was nutso. And he probably told me, Kelly, you don't need to sweat to get in a good workout. That was back when I was a cardio queen. I was skinny fat and not getting the results that I wanted. So you do not have to sweat to get in a good workout. Also, too many people are still relying on that Apple Watch or whatever you may wear for calories burned. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with that, but the calories burned are not accurate. Okay? So you don't have to do extra cardio to burn off the extra calories that you ate on vacation. It's crazy to think that way, and we're not going to. We just want to get back to our normal routine as fast as possible and move daily. Walking will help with your digestion and your energy. You notice when you take that walk after lunch instead of taking a nap, you will have more energy, okay? Especially if you get outside. I'm a huge advocate for getting outside. Your mood will be better. Get back to that weight training, a specific structured program. No program hopping inside of the clubhouse. We don't program hop. We have exactly what you need to do. And once you get moving, that stimulates the lymphatic flow, stimulates digestion, and like we talked about, energy. So you're going to schedule your workouts. It's not thinking, oh, I'll just get back to it another day. Get back in to the gym, get back down to your basement, wherever it may be, and get working out again. Eating high fiber foods. We know that eating fiber is important, right? It helps to flush out toxins. It helps if you're backed up or constipated. Perhaps you became irregular because you were on vacation and off your pooping schedule. So, to flush things out and keep things moving, eat fiber packed foods. You know how sometimes high fiber foods, cruciferous vegetables, can be foods that bloat you as well. So, if you find that these foods are bloating you, I want you to eat them cooked over raw. So, examples maybe some steamed carrots, wilted spinach, roasted sweet potato. I love all of my veggies roasted, either in the oven or in the air fryer. Radishes. I used to hate radishes. My grandma always used to put them on our salads with den dressing and croutons and bacon bits, and she would make it for us. So these radishes I just could not stomach. So, anyways, I roast them and I love them now. They're like little radish coins and they're delicious. Rutabaga fries, love rutabaga, chop them up just like you would French fries. I have a Pampered Chef crinkle cutter that I use, so good. Okay. All of the berries, all right? Strawberries over apples, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, high fiber foods that are less likely to bloat you. So think like sweet potatoes over bread. Consume these foods while you're trying to get back, feeling back to normal. It's not to avoid these other foods, but this will help you to get back to feeling normal. Sleep, I know. Right? Like this is obvious, but get back to your normal sleep schedule. I know this is a no-brainer. Try to get 7.5, 8 hours of sleep. This will help you manage cortisol. We all know that cortisol and increased cortisol will increase our cravings. So if we do not have enough sleep or great quality sleep, maybe you need to take magnesium before bed, limit screen times and caffeine. Get off Instagram. Shut off the Housewives and Southern Charm. Stop after the first episode on your favorite next Netflix shows. Set your alarm to go to bed. If you're setting your alarm to wake up, perhaps you need to set an alarm to go to bed. Get back to meal prep, especially the protein. Be sure to have a grocery delivery. I always like to have one delivered the day that we get back. Do a grocery run right after you get home. Batch meal prep. Prepare your proteins and chop up your veggies. I love to chop my veggies as soon as the veggies come in the door. That way they're ready to go. Cook up 2 to 3 lean proteins, just add salt and pepper, and then you can add the sauces and spices later. Perhaps you don't even have time to cook up the protein. Just purchase protein that's already been cooked, okay? You literally just have to warm it up in the skillet, okay? Or warm it up in the air fryer or warm it up in the microwave, all right? So, one of the things that I like to get delivered is a rotisserie chicken. That's super easy, already prepped, ready to go, and my family loves it. I always have Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and egg whites on hand. I always like to have the Just Bare nuggets in the freezer and a frozen veggie in the freezer. All right. If we need to do a lazy meal when we get back, that's our go-to. Another go-to is breakfast. That is simple, easy to do, easy to track. And when we're low on groceries, I feel like we can always pull off breakfast. Keeping those frozen veggies inside of the freezer, super helpful. Green Giant makes so many great ones. So super easy to pull out and make. I also like to take the time. I like my clients to take the time to pre-log and pre-track. When you know you're getting back to the work week and it's going to be crazy, take that extra time either on the way home, right? We have a lot of sitting. If you're waiting for a plane, there's a lot of sitting, okay? You're sitting on the plane, you're sitting in the car, and you have so much extra time. I know you think that you don't have the time, but if you make this a priority, I promise you, you can find the time, all right? Even the morning of to get back on track because things are going to be crazy. Sometimes you need a vacation from vacation. My mom always said that, and I never understood why because I was a kid. And she's like, I need a vacation from vacation. So kids are going back to school, you're back to work, you get thrown right back into it. So also, when we do a vacation, I try to travel from Saturday to Saturday if it's a week long. No excuses then. You have Sunday to prepare. Take the 2 hours to prep your protein or ingredient prep, as I like to do, and pre-log so that you don't have that decision fatigue when Monday morning or Monday at dinner time comes around. So these are ways to get rid of that yucky, bloated, puffiness feeling gone in the first few days after you get home. You don't need to do anything crazy. You don't need to starve yourself or overdo running or cardio. Please, no cleanses or fasting. You just need to get back to it. So, thank you for tuning in today. I will put the link to the Clubhouse waitlist. You can enter in June. It is $39 a month. It has everything that you need all in one spot. I know you're sick of hunting the internet trying to figure out what your plan is to lose weight and reveal your defined muscles. So, one time a year. This is it. Okay, June. So if you found this episode helpful, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Remember, it's not about all or nothing. It's about all or something. You're always doing better than you think you are. See you next time.